Hello, and welcome to Knights of the Night Actual Play Podcast. This 5th edition D&D adventure, The Heretic, was written and run by your DM, Scott. And now, please enjoy episode 501, titled, You Drank the Wine, Didn't You? Actual play begins immediately.
Hello everyone, I'm Scott, your DM for this 5e adventure, The Heretic. With me tonight, starting on my right, are...
I'm Tom. I'm playing Alder Rusha, a human male cleric of Amira, and a skill-seeking rogue.
Hi, I'm Mike playing Marduk, a male half-orc fighter, graduate of the Academy, and an Eldritch Knight of the Fist of Amira.
Hello, I am Jim playing Grodor, a hobgoblin warlock and one of the overworked, underpaid Fists of Amira, searching for truth, knowledge, and a faster route to their destination.
I'm John. I'll be playing Melody, female human cleric, third of the exemplar family Harmony, ex-ambassador turned political operative, and long-suffering enemy of Aloysius.
I'm Thomas, and I'll be playing Gabrielle de Angelis. She's a female Aasimar paladin and a holy fist of Amira whose belief in the importance of our collective destiny drives her ever onward towards her fated oath of conduct.
All right, where last we left off, the battle with the assassin had ended in the Temple of Amira in the city of Travail. You decided you would speak with Vanna, the wife of Aragast and the owner of the bone dice, about the fact that you had retrieved them and kept them from the assassin. You worked your way down into the lower level of the temple and spoke with her at length about how you had defended her and the dice from ne'er-do-wells from the lawgivers who were attempting to kill her and steal the dice. She listened to your arguments and your points and decided to allow you to keep the dice, as she no longer wanted anything to do with them after the attempt on her life and her husband being killed under mysterious circumstances. You then went to a all-night bathhouse in the city of Travail to clean up after the battle and wipe some of the road grime from 7 or 8 days on the road off of yourselves. There you bumped into an old friend of Melody, a diplomat by the name of Aloysius, who was excited to see her and wanted to torment her with shaded conversation and innuendo. Melody took one look at him, heard his first sentence out of his mouth, and abruptly turned away and left, as did eventually everyone else after cleaning up and retreating back to the watering hole, the caravansary where you're spending the night before you leave the next morning. Once at the caravansary, most of you continued to clean up and talk and chat as the evening went on, and that's where we left it. So we'll pick up there with everyone in Melody's room and Gabrielle's room, with the night getting a little bit late, towards 11:30, and you can decide what you want to do, if anything more, this evening, and then we'll take it into the next day after that.
I have a question.
What's up?
Okay.
I thought we had an agreement with her to return the dice at some point. You just stated that she gave them to us forever.
Okay. If I said that, I apologize. It was an open-ended keep the dice. Return them whenever. It's like she was in no rush when she talked to you to get those dice back. When you said, we're going to use them and eventually get them back to you, she was fine with you saying eventually without saying it needs to be a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Okay.
The war is on, which I was surprised to see that we are in war with somebody, but I guess you should have people you can talk to in case you want to broker a treaty or an end truce. But yeah. I was surprised to see lawgivers in the area, unless they were snuck in here.
I believe that Melody mentioned that diplomats usually stay in the city even when they're at war. They're protected and given wide berth and freedom, even though they're the enemy. In case word needs to get across to the other side, the diplomats are the ones to carry it. So it's not unusual during a war to have diplomats of the opposing side in the various cities of the enemy.
It's true.
That doesn't mean I have to talk to him.
Absolutely not, which you proved last week. Moving on, you are all in Melody and Gabrielle's room. Melody is in a very sour mood. I believe everyone tried to cheer up a little bit. I think you brought her extra water, Alder.
Mhm.
I believe that Grodor bought her a bottle of white wine, perhaps.
Yeah, that might be empty.
I said that I'm not in the mood for it, so let's save it for something we can actually celebrate.
Correct. And that's where we'll pick up. Does anyone have anything they want to do this evening before everyone retires to their rooms for the night?
We wanted to talk about what to put in the sending, didn't we?
Oh, we have to
Yeah,
make a
that's true.
call.
The sending can be made on the road. There's some research I want to make before we make the sending.
In regards to what?
I should be able to find a general location of where that assassin retreated to, and it could be useful information for our superiors to coordinate.
Okay, but here's the thing. How many sending abilities do we have?
I believe we have 3 scrolls.
So we use one of them tonight to give them an update, and then tell them to send to us tomorrow so we can give them additional information.
Ooh, yeah, it's two-way communique, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very well.
My point is, I don't know what's going to happen tonight while we're resting. This is an unstable town. And then I think it would just be a good idea to get the message out now when we can get the message out.
Very well. Do you think it's unstable enough that we should leave this evening?
No, we need sleep.
You know better than I do how to deal with a lot of these diplomats. I didn't trust that individual, and it definitely seemed to upset you.
Even in the dead of night, he wouldn't try anything. He's insufferable, but he's not outright violent.
All right, but another thing we have to deal with is this person who apparently can open a gate and step through wherever the hell they want.
She's
And
just as nearly dead as we are.
there's this, and I show the dagger wrapped in silk. Can she come and get it?
Potentially. I don't know.
I've never heard of such a thing. I've heard of the ability to bring your magic items back. I mean, she gestures at Marduk. But I haven't ever heard of you being able to return yourself to the dagger.
And as far as her being nearly dead, so have we in the past. And he holds out his little amulet.
The soul shard?
Yeah. But healing has been done. It's not to say that she doesn't have resources.
I don't think the followers of Asmodeus are known to be amazing healers. I might be overstepping truth there.
But, well, you're a great healer. I'm not the best. But yeah, we somehow managed to survive. I don't know. I'm just throwing out thoughts I'm having of possible.
I'm going to be up
problems.
an hour later to make sure I have this right. You can send what you have now, and in the morning we can respond with what I've found.
Marduk, you seem to be the contact information. They sent you a message. Would you like to send the message? Do you have thoughts?
I don't believe I was the primary contact, but I really have nothing other to say that we are still at least a day or so away from where we need to be, and we still need to get going, so...
I think we want to mention the fact that the leader of this city was killed by someone who stepped through a gate and tried to kill
That
and
was
steal.
unrelated. We had a whole conversation. I was wrong about the poisoning. It was a sickness like a week ago.
No, I understand that.
No, but
But the
Look,
fact that he's dead, that's still pretty significant.
the fact that they got assassins that can teleport and walk through, like, who knows, possibly, across the whole continent here. And the fact that they've been listening in on us, they're scrying, and they can't possibly be listening in to people at our main capital. It could be something they may want to know about.
At the very least, the power structure has changed here, so that needs to be reported. This is ostensibly the front lines of the oncoming battle.
But I don't think Grodor is incorrect that we dealt with someone who just stepped through a gate. And I know magic's a thing, but
We don't know of a spell or incantation that will allow you to do what she did. Which means
we can definitely talk to them about the significance of who it was who did it and
How
the
they
fact
did it.
Yeah. How much does the sending, how many words can you send?
25.
25.
It does have a limitation of 25 words, and then you can be responded to with 25 words back.
Okay.
So they will be able to respond to you and give you their thoughts on whatever it is you pass along, but you'll have to come up with what you're going to say in those 25 words. If you want to post it in the chat, then people can give their 2 cents as you try to come up with 25 words.
This is 24 words. Aragast is dead. Vanna assaulted by Maiden of Shadow. Maiden stepped through a grate straight from the lawlands. Send us at sunrise.
Good enough for me. When we get word back, I also want to mention the fact that it seemed like we couldn't travel through the portal, so
We never tried.
True enough. It became clear when she traveled through it, so I figured that was some sort of block, but whatever.
Somebody stuck their head through the portal and saw through it, so it was clear that we could travel through their portal.
It became clear when she traveled through. We could not see through it beforehand.
I don't think we stuck our heads through, but I don't know.
No, we did not.
I thought Mark Duke did it.
No.
He did an attack of opportunity.
I looked through and drew pictures of the people that we saw. We don't specifically know that they were from the land of
The Maidens of Shadows are an organization of lawgivers.
I thought when we spotted through the portal, somebody made an assessment and knew it was the land of the lawgivers. But if that's not true, we can change that.
You saw some ruins written in a language on the cloak that she was wearing that said Maiden of Shadows. And then someone remembered that Maiden of Shadows is an organization of assassins. I believe it was Melody. It was a group of assassins in the lawgivers.
Okay, so we didn't recognize the place they went through. I will remove that.
So you're not sure it was the lawgivers, but it's not a wild guess. It's a pretty strong
Step through the gate, possibly from lawgivers.
Nah. Aragast is dead. Vanna assaulted by Maiden of Shadow. Maiden stepped through a gate unlike any we've ever seen. Send us at sunrise.
And that's how many words?
Sunrise?
It's 24.
Yeah, we still have a word.
We got to go full telegram on this. We can get another 25 in with the response. Only a bit will be taken about the location.
I'm confident in that sentence.
Okay, that's fine.
We're confident then? Anybody got any objections?
My question is, the DM would be, who is this being sent to?
Riven.
Riven is the leader of Nil Corruptus and your commanding officer. And Otik, O-T-I-K, Loren, L-O-R-E-N.
The guy who didn't want to go with us?
The one that, no, and he talked with a stutter and pauses and was very uncomfortable about even being in that meeting. But yeah, he's a holy scrivener, so he's not used to war talk and battle talk and traveling to the Hollowlands, and that wasn't for him.
He's gonna be so asleep right now.
Sendings wake people.
I know, but he's gonna waste some of his 25 words. I'll bet you some money.
Who's the one who sent Marduk a message last time?
That was
we
Riven.
just got.
Basically the interior ministry of the country of Amira.
Then maybe we do want to contact Riven.
Yeah, Riven will have the connections. Just makes it easier. That's how chain of command works.
Alright, but if we get chewed out.
Whatever. We're millions of miles away and just stopped an assassination attempt. You can go suck donkey balls. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, let's not have him suck donkey balls. He hasn't done anything wrong yet.
I just rebelling at the concept that we pissed someone off with this news that we almost all died.
Right.
Great.
Okay. And who is sending it, and who are they sending it to?
If no one wants to volunteer, Gabrielle.
Marduk has been had got the communications. I just think that is who got the soldierly kind of je ne sais quoi.
If I can, I'll explain the message and report in and expect a return.
Okay, So you're going to have Marduk give the message that has been printed out.
We all wrote it out together, so we all understand what it is.
Using a sending scroll that was given to you.
Yeah.
One of the three,
yes.
Marduk, can you cast third level spells?
No.
Oh.
Okay, therefore you must make a spell casting check at 10 plus the spell level. Sending spell is third level. So you need to make a spell casting check at 13 DC in order to successfully cast the sending spell.
If he were in a fight, I'd be agreeing with you. This is not something you can take his time at.
Was that a rule still?
What's that?
Take 20 is not a rule, but rolling is often, there are immediate consequences, and this one is it something that is that easy to mess up if you take your time with it?
Well, I'll tell you what. I appreciate your point of view. And if it was something a little bit more urgent or really thematically, story-wise, a huge deal, I probably wouldn't do this. I would let the dice fall where they may. But since it's not a big deal and he could take his time casting the spell and it's just a sending spell, I'm going to give him advantage, saying that some of the more, for instance, Grodor can kind of go over the scroll with him, and who's more acclimated to spell casting than Marduk is right at this point in his career.
I don't think either of them are at level 3.
They're not
but
at
yeah.
level 3, but I think Marduk might be.
Hell yes.
I rolled a natural 20 for a total of 23.
So like when you get double damage, you can use like 50 words now?
Yes, you could absolutely use 50 words.
Okay, maybe not.
I don't
picture.
Well, it's a critical success. I want to do something for it. So maybe it has not just the words themselves, but there's some images of you huddled around in a hotel room, and he gets an actual visual image as well of the situation as opposed to just the words themselves that wake up.
Didn't we draw a caricature of the lady once we got her details down in memory?
There we go. We're holding up the picture.
We hold it in front of Mark.
Oh, hell yeah. I hold up my picture. Here, this.
Sure.
They look like
good.
this.
There you
That's
go. That's a
absolutely
good
what gets
advantage.
sent.
I'm totally photobombing it. Just jumping up and down in the back.
Of course.
He drank the wine, didn't he?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I put that in my inventory. He didn't drink it. I got it written down.
Now he's got to think of 25 words to say.
That's his response. Thank you. Definitely lawgivers. Guard yourselves during the night. Continue to your destination post haste. Travail important, but your mission is paramount.
Well, I've got the first hour.
You need to do something during that hour?
Yeah.
Do we have multiple rooms? Do we have a common area? What do we have?
Thought you could grab maybe 3 rooms from the owner, who is a family friend of Melody.
Yeah, we can say that they're all at the end of a hallway, though, and I step outside the doors to guard.
Oh, Melody, there's windows. I say we stay all in one room.
Okay. Marduk, can you help me with this bed?
Of course.
And we all shuffle furniture around so that we can have enough room to sleep, but also take watch.
Right.
Block the
They're gonna
door.
love this.
Yeah, and block the door. Because, we probably need to with all the furniture we're moving in.
Why not? I
Okay.
can move it back in the morning. Don't worry, Gabrielle.
Melody takes first watch. The rest of you start to try to fall asleep around midnight. And as you know, you need a total of 8 hours for a long rest. I'm just going to expedite this and say it is a tense night. Everyone's definitely on guard, waiting for someone to appear completely out of the blue in your room. It's nerve-wracking. It's tense. It's not the best sleep any of you have ever had, but you get through the night into the next day. It is 8 bells by the time the last watch takes place. You go ahead and greet the sunrise with some sense of relief and a sense of happiness that you made it through the night. And you can now do what you want to do if you wanted to do anything before you departed.
I just wanted to do a bit of description of how this spell works, that I am trying to locate our attacker, the assassin. I am sitting watch with Tome and have transformed them. I say travail, and he turns into an atlas. And I'm going over this atlas with the light of my soul shard.
Okay.
Trying to decide how I use guidance to narrow down where in the atlas I focus to. But I'm flipping pages and stuff because it's an atlas. I can't just use a map to narrow in. I have eventually pinned down which city she's located in by a 3-mile area, where in that city. And this atlas probably doesn't have super detailed reports of lawgiver territory, so I'm going to have to pass on stuff to people who can get it closer. But we have longitude and latitude, so I've got at least that.
in the beginning of the atlas, there is a map of the
that we look
sphere
at right now.
that you know of, that you're kind of looking at right now. Exactly. It's not super detailed, but it has big cities and it has mountain ranges and forests. Your eyes glaze over and you kind of like lose focus a little bit, and you find your eyes then drawn to the north of Amira through Essentia and to the lawgivers, and it rests upon the territory of the lawgivers. You quickly flip through.
Yeah, with a whisper word to Tome, some of the pages flip to closer view of that region.
Right, a close-in view of the lawgivers' territory. And you find, again, your eyes headed towards the center of their territory, where there is their large, massive capital called Throne. And there is a couple pages beyond that Tome slips and passes to. You get to an actual picture of the city itself. And in the city itself, your eyes are drawn to the north side of the city near the lake. Your eyes finally draw sharp focus, and you know that is where the assassin is currently.
Okay. After I'm done with this ritual, it takes an hour. I wake up the next person, put Tome back to normal, Paper Dragon mode, Paper Drake, and I head my way to bed. And then we fast forward to the morning because we did that.
Exactly. At around 9 or 10 a.m. as you're waking up, you get a knock on the door.
I'm probably the last one on watch because I'm virtually the only one who can't see in the dark. So I have to slide the bed out of the way and open the door, hand on the sword, just in case.
You see the wind-chiseled features and white hair of the Watchlord that you had met yesterday and was watching over Vanna, Tav Veras. He's standing outside your door and he has something in his hand. He looks down to your hand on your sword as you open the door and then looks back up at you and nods like he understands exactly where you're coming from. He says, "Here are 2 potions of antidote. You had mentioned these yesterday, and I told you we would have someone take care of it, and I thought it best to take care of it myself. And to once again thank you for saving Vanna's life yesterday. I know that it would have been a challenge if I had been on my own. The Fists of Amira always have a place here in Travail to call home. Your deeds will not go unnoticed." And he hands over the 2 vials of antidote to you.
I accept them, salute him, and shake his hand and say, "Thank you. It's much appreciated. And we were glad we could be of service. And we are also glad of the result, that no one was hurt. If only we had done slightly better in taking care of that vicious woman so that she could not return. But I think she'll be more than likely following us rather than returning to here. At least I hope so, for your own safety."
Told, that is our hope as well. The dice are the coincidence here that keeps coming to my mind. They were held by Aragast, and Aragast is dead, and then they were held by Vanna. And Vanna was attacked. Good luck in your travels. I hope you safety, and I hope Amira's will and her protection is with you during your travels.
Much appreciated.
And he departs. Is there anything else that anyone else wanted to do in Travail before you depart? It is a small city, but well outfitted for travelers because of the fact that it's a common waypoint between East and West Amira.
Once he leaves, I turn towards Melody, who I assume is up now, and
yes,
show her the 2 potions and say, "I believe you asked for these."
I can hold on to them. I've got the healing potions. May as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see if Amira can help us with this sort of first aid going forward, too.
He didn't bring instructions on how to use those dice, did he?
I think the most experienced man with these dice died some time ago.
Out of character, speaking as DM to the player Jim, you can cast the Identify spell and get information on the dice and what they're capable of doing. Anyone can do that with any magic item, cast the Identify spell and get all the things that it's capable of doing. Or you can spend a I thought it was identify. Is item lore?
No, that's my version of it.
Okay, great.
Sorry to say, just that I also have that is what I meant.
Okay. And also you can spend a short rest studying the item if you don't have the identify spell, or in Melody's case, the item lore spell. You can get what it's capable of doing. Now, when you get that, just to be very, very, very clear, and I've mentioned this before about trying to beat a dead horse, but some weapons, some items will grow in power as you grow in power. You will get what it's capable of with you right now. Much like Alder's sword, when he studied his mother's sword and found out that it was +1 and it was silver, that's all he knew. But as he grew in power, then all of a sudden there's something else it can do, which was just revealed in the last battle scene. So items will have things that grow with you, but you won't get that on your very first identify spell. It won't be until you're high enough level and you do that again that you'll be able to find out what else it can do. So you're not going to get all the secrets of the dice. You'll get the secrets of the dice at 4th level.
True enough.
If you attune to them, which you haven't done yet.
I think I'm going to let Grodor do that because, as you just mentioned, our friend's sword has just changed qualities, and that's worth looking into.
Right.
It's the 100 gold piece pearl that blows my mind on this spell.
True enough. We are kind of poor.
Yes, that is tough. But again, it can be rectified with a short rest. An hour spent studying the item, getting in touch with Amira, praying to her, and you'll be able to find out what the item is capable of.
Also, the 100 gold is a one-time purchase. You can keep reusing that pearl. It isn't eaten, unless it says so, which some do. Like, I think the diamond dust for revive is eaten. Because
yes, it does not say. Difficult. I'm agreeing with Thomas, and that's my ruling, is the pearl does not disappear or get consumed. They usually say the item is destroyed in the casting of the spell when it does get destroyed. So since it doesn't say anything about the pearl, you can just use the same pearl over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're going to requisition a pearl when we get back.
We could peek for it while we're here. But yeah, sure.
It's not something, even if we pulled our resources, I think we could afford.
I have a small fortune, but I can't remember how small. Yeah, no, I could afford it. If we need that pearl for the sake of understanding what's going on, let's go get it.
A platinum piece is 10 gold, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
This is the last time I'm going to be able to flash cash like that, but if it's going to help us out a lot, I don't mind. Do I understand what all magic items are as long as my buddy Grodor is here? That's a worthy expenditure of my small fortune.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that everyone eventually works their way down into the common area of the inn, of the watering hole, grab some breakfast, go ahead and get yourself situated, but you want to head out into the city. Are you doing that with your horses in your wagon, or are you doing it beforehand as a separate goal to go find a store that deals in apothecary?
Since it's likely that Marduk is going to get ascending back, I'm going to stay back with him and go over this atlas so that he can tell them where we've located the person.
Yeah.
Not that it's super useful given it's in the heart of their territory, but we can meet you with the wagon at the market on the way out.
That's a good idea. Me and Grodor can go unless Alder would like to come as well.
Yeah, I can go. I've never met anybody in this town before, but I could certainly try to work out a deal, maybe get you a discount.
No, maybe the magic will be able to tell it's not worth 100 gold. I really don't understand this kind of stuff. But we begin an animated discussion on it as we head off towards the local jeweler, I guess.
Yes. The horses are fed and watered. They are brushed down. They are in good shape. They were taken care of very well throughout the night. You get a hand who helps around the caravansary, who fetches the horses for you, gets them hitched up to the wagon, and gets you all set and ready to go. He brings the horses to you as you're waiting, and you're off within maybe 15 minutes of walking out the door. You ask around because you don't know this town at all. I don't think any of you know the town all that much or all that well. And you're pointed in the direction of the Seven Winds Bazaar. So there is a marketplace or bazaar that sells a lot of items, you'll be able to use or hopefully find an apothecary or some sort of somebody who deals with magical accoutrements. That doesn't take too long. So eventually you find yourself in front of a booth with a wizened old gnome who has a couple tables of different alchemical and magical ingredients for sale.
I suppose we'll begin by innocently perusing, and wait for his attention to be drawn by the clear signs that we're looking at something expensive.
He definitely takes notes, kind of follows you from table to table to make sure nothing's disappearing. Doesn't say anything just yet. It seems to hold back. He's dressed relatively fine, so he's obviously of some type of upper station, and he has a shock of white hair on his head, and he has a little bit larger than normal eyes. They're kind of bulgy a little bit, and he just seems to really be watching you intently as you walk about looking for what it is you're looking for, which is that pearl. And eventually on a table with some diamond dust and rubies and other high-end items, you are able to come across a small tray of pearls that are available for purchase.
I glance at him a few times as he's watching us, and I smile. And I say, I'm here with my friends. They're users of magic. I'm really not. It seems like a wonderful story you have here.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your compliment. What can I do for you today?
Well, we're going on a journey, and unfortunately we're headed off to the north, where, as you may or may not know, is not very safe. But I don't know if you heard about what happened last night at the temple.
There's rumors all over the city about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy night.
We were involved.
Ooh, were you now?
Yeah, we did our best.
His eyes get even bigger if that's possible.
We did our best to protect the High Priestess, and I think we succeeded. But unfortunately, we used some resources, and we're looking to pick up some new ones. I think the thing you're interested in, I look at Gabrielle.
Mm-hmm.
This pearl here, is that what you were looking at?
Exactly. We're looking for something to help with identification of certain items.
Could I use my suggestion spell to say, since this is something that is being used to help people who are trying to help fight this war, maybe we could get a break on the price of it?
Yes, I mean, we are working for our nation here, attempting to keep everyone safe, and unfortunately this is something we need. Is it possible we could get a bit of a discount?
What's the saving DC on your suggestion?
Wisdom saving throw.
8 plus proficiency plus charisma.
13.
Okay. I'll go ahead and make that roll. He is +2 on his roll.
Yeah.
He rolled a 3. Apparently, he has some relatives who fought in a war long ago, and he's got a soft spot for people doing good. Well, anyone who comes by the wizard's pouch and wants to do good by their fellow countrymen, I can't help but think that sounds like a really good opportunity to give a little bit back to the country. So, how about 80 gold for that fine pearl?
That is a discount we'd be most appreciative of. And
All right.
And not only that, but we would definitely share with all of our friends who gave us such a wonderful device.
What is your name that we might... I'm sorry, did he already introduce himself and I'm being a dipshit?
No, he didn't the whole time. He
Yeah, please, tell me your name that I might tell everyone of your store, the Wizard's Pouch.
Oh, thanks. Thin Mac? Ale Sling. I've slung a few ales in my day, but Thin Mac is how most people know me around here.
I laughed the best I can over that joke.
Yes.
Well, your discount is most appreciated, and we'll be sure to tell our comrades of your store, and perhaps even come back here on our way back to the west. I don't want to say exactly where we're from.
All right. Well, that would be fun. I'd look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah, before we go, though, I think I'm going to spend, I don't know, I want to just replace whatever I've used that's not expensive.
Right. Like a twig or...
A twig or a feather or coal
Right.
dust or whatever.
Exactly. Let's say that that's 1 silver piece.
Nice.
Yeah.
That suggestion spell requires a snake's tongue, a bit of honeycomb, or a drop of sweet oil.
Yeah, I get that too.
Some of that as well. We're going to say he outfits you with a couple of small little vials of things that you would use for that amount, for just 1 silver piece. It's very inexpensive stuff, and it's common magical practice.
Cool.
And he has everything you need here at the Wizard's Pouch, so you're good.
I tell him we're staying at the watering hole and he should come tonight and I will buy him some ale.
We're not going to be there.
Shh.
Oh.
He's working it.
But we tell him to stop by, and if we're still there, we'll get him.
No, I told him exactly what I told him.
Okay.
And then on our way out of town, I'm going to stop at the inn and give him some money and say, when this guy shows up, tell him that unfortunately we had to leave, but this is a drink for him.
He's very appreciative when you say that. I just may make my way down there. All right, so then we're going to go back really quick to the room at the Caravansary. We have Melody and Marduk, who are going to send a sending spell again, I believe? A second sending spell?
We were expecting one back.
I was hoping that they would have a sending to us, please update with additional information kind of thing, so that we wouldn't. They have trained people for this. I don't want to waste our scrolls if they know we have more info to give. That was what we tried to convey with the message, send in the morning. I forget the exact verbiage.
I think it included just give us a sending in the morning.
Use a sending at sunrise, it said.
Yep.
I'm assuming they made their intelligence roll.
Yeah. I think that you would have said, we'll send in the morning or something a little more focused. But a sending does not come down first thing in the morning at sunrise. You stay in the room anticipating a sending.
We don't have to stay in one location for a sending, do we?
You do not.
Okay.
But at that point, everyone gets back to the watering hole because Alder wants to go back there and leave some money for the bartender to take care of Thin Mac if he decides to show up at the bar tonight. Everyone now is in the main room. Anything going to happen before we hit the road, or are we ready to hit the road?
I think we're ready.
Marduk, anything before we leave?
No?
We're supposed to be
I'm
on
good.
post haste.
I think we should probably set out that actual double time. Or did we do that last time? I can't remember.
There are 3 different speeds you can go at when you're traveling. You can go at a very slow speed, where you can use stealth, and you travel like 18 miles a day. You can go at a normal pace, where you still get to make perception checks and stuff like that, but that's at 24 miles a day. Or you can go to fast pace. At a fast pace, you go 30 miles a day, but you can no longer do any perception checks. You're kind of just focusing on traveling quickly. None of those actually exhaust you. You get exhausted by going extra hours after you're done for your 8 hours of the day. So are you leaving at a slow pace, a moderate pace, or at a fast pace is the question.
I figure we should go up past. You said post haste.
Yeah, and I agree. We're heading into a war zone. The quicker we get there before their entire army is probably a good idea.
And they know where we're at. They kind of were watching us in a meeting, so they know where we're starting.
And where we're at now.
I'm hoping that Mornskeep holds longer than it will be a war zone by the time we get to Tarask, but
Yes, Tarask is 4 days away on foot. A little bit less than that if you go the fast and travel 30 miles a day as opposed to 24. So you'll be there almost like in just over 3 days if you go the faster pace the entire time. If you add extra hours on after your 8 hours is done, it'll be even quicker than that. So that's the distance to Tarask, which is your destination. The war right now is at Morn's Keep, probably a good 100 miles to the north.
Yeah,
So hopefully it'll hold, but you don't know because it's fallen before in the past.
Yeah, I've never dealt with this before, so I'm a little scared. But
Sure.
we're also racing an opponent, aren't we?
Yes, you are. Someone coming from the south, from the Chromatic Compact. Supposedly a group of adventurers of Dragonborn and other types of reptilian creatures heading towards the Hollowlands from their city, the northernmost city in the south, called Solanthrin. That's the last update you got as far as that goes. So you head out. When you pass out of the easternmost gate of the city, there are mercenary companies that are stationed outside or right at the gates that are asking travelers if they need protection traveling to their destination. So if someone's heading towards Tarask or heading to the east, there are companies that will provide protection because you're going past the Cinderwald, and that is not a
particularly
safe
route.
proposition. Right. The Cinderwald is a very dangerous place, and you are traveling. There's a river between you and the Cinderwald, but you are traveling the road is very close to the river that is the divider between you and the Cinderwald. So there is quite a bit of danger on the road, even though this is a nice civilized nation and there are troops that patrol the road pretty regularly. Some people will hire these mercenaries to guide them and guard their caravan from city to city. So you are accosted on your way out. I'm assuming that you're declining the invitation to pick up additional arms and guardsmen.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we're satisfied.
Excellent. You travel at a high speed throughout the day. You break for lunch. Right about the end of the day, as the sun is setting in the west, you round a bend in the road. As you're looking behind you, you see the red-orange glow. It's familiar. It's reassuring. It's the sunset that happens every day. But as you look to the east, the scene's altogether different. Beyond the swift current of the barren river, there are tall trees bereft of any leaves at all, and they stand like dark sentinels in the distance. Many of them are wreathed in an unnatural purple flame that burns with an eerie silence. Smoke hangs over the forest, swirling and forming into ominous clouds. The only noise that is escaping from the forest confines are these unholy growls or occasional screeches of wildlife that you assume is better left undisturbed. That's your first glimpse of the Cinderwald for those of you who have not traveled there or passed there in the past. And it looks something like this.
Dun dun dun.
That's quite a bit more light than I expected it to give off.
Yes, it's a very foreboding place. Again, you have the river between you, but that's where your 8 hours come to an end, and you need to set up camp for the night unless you're going to risk exhaustion by traveling further for more hours of the day. But right now, you left Travail probably around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's probably around 7 o'clock at night. The sun is just setting over the mountains in the west, and you come upon this scene in the east, and you need to make camp, or you need to keep traveling into the night.
Trying to remember how easy exhaustion is to recover from on the road.
Not
It's
easy.
not easy at all.
A long rest for one level of exhaustion. It's a bitch.
Which is a bunch of time we don't
Well-
have, so.
Not only that, but it's got very negative connotations. So bad things happen.
Yeah.
It affects quite a lot.
Yes.
The travel.
One level is doable, but when you get to second and third level of exhaustion, you can only get one of them back for each long rest.
Yeah.
And it definitely impacts upon your ability to function as Fist of Amira. But you might want to risk it and go one level in. I don't know how much gravitas you want to give to the sending back saying post haste. It's your decision on how fast you're traveling.
I leave it up to those who have traveled more than me. I'm not used to the rigors of travel, but I do think we should be fast. I do leave it up to you.
Certainly not my call.
I'm not traveling.
This is the farthest I've ever gone.
That's way farther than I ever
Yeah,
gone.
it's
The
more
Cinderwald-
Marduk.
Yeah, the Cinderwald is not a place we should be rushing through, unfortunately. Yes, we need to be fast, but
We're also going to be along it for a while, so it ain't
Right.
going anywhere.
now death is around every step, so we have to be cautious and we have to be properly rested because this place is not forgiving any mistake.
Sounds like the decision is to set up camp for the night.
Yes.
So you set up camp, you have dinner, You rub down the horses. You get them watered and fed. Do you build a small campfire? I'm assuming you're going to be close to the shores of the river because it's an area where there's fresh water and you're able to...
We'll dig a deep, like the size of a pot, hole and have a tiny fire in there. So it won't be seen, but it'll be heat.
You set camp for the night by the riverside. The small fire that you dug a hole for snaps and hisses as you cook your evening meal. Eventually the conversation dwindles down and the exhaustion of being on the road takes hold. You set your watch schedule with Marduk taking first, and most of you drift into an uneasy slumber with the unnatural sounds of the Cinderwold creeping into your dreams. Marduk, the wind shifts somewhere into your first watch. The clouds of smoke that choke the Cinderwald begin to waft over the barren river. And after a time, they begin to lick at the northern edge of the shore. They continue to waft and roil over the land until your camp is inundated by the odorless yet obscuring mist. It's at this time, Brodor, that while you're sleeping, you have visions of a giant oak burning endlessly with purple flame. Eventually, the voice of the Lady of Ash encourages you to follow the will-o-wisps and not stray from the path. Her voice is insistent, and it wakes you up from your sleep with a start. And when this happens, Marduk, you hear Brodor awake with a start, with a sudden gasp of air. And he shakes his head, and the mist where the river is, and the mist came over the river, they part ever so slightly, and you see a trail of soft blue balls like will-o-wisps that go into a forest setting, not into a river that was just there, but into a forest. And we'll stop there for the night. Thanks to our fans for listening. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to hear the story tonight. And thanks to everyone that took the time, as far as the players go, to give your insights and your ideas, as it was an information-centric night, but certainly a valuable one to get us to the next part of the adventure. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you for listening to Knights of the Night Actual Play Podcast. If you'd like to send us a question, comment, or feedback, you can reach us in a number of ways, including Twitter @KOTN_podcast or by emailing us at feedback@KOTNpodcast.com. And don't forget the iTunes reviews. We also have a Facebook page which can be found at facebook.com/KOTN.podcast. While on Facebook, you can join like-minded folks at our fan page at facebook.com/groups/KOTNfan. And lastly, there's our blog at KOTNpodcast.com, where there's an Amazon link on the right-hand side. For those of you who'd like a more steady way to help us pay the bills, or if you live outside the U.S., you can help by donating to our Patreon page at patreon.com/KOTN. And please remember to join us next week for more mystery and adventure.
We're sending a 25-word text message.
It's Twitter.
Yeah.
In a much shorter version. What's the name of the city?
Travail.
Travail.
Which is rather apropos for what's happened so far.
A reply, not a return.
Oh, no, he's losing it again. You're breaking up.
No, he's not.
Just for you.
I'm breaking up. I'm breaking up. Hold on, let me unplug and plug again. It usually solves it for me. 1 second.
Sure.
I think it's your connection, because when you mentioned earlier, it wasn't happening.
Yeah, you heard Jim rubber banding and I didn't, so.
Mm-hmm.
Am I any better?
Well, you're fine. We didn't hear any problem with you. You're not hearing.
I'm hearing things that aren't there.
Yeah.
I can hear.
Crazy.
When Mike's talking, I can still hear a very slight staticky hiss, but it's, like I said, it's nothing that bugs me or.
Actually, I don't think I'm hearing it, but I don't know. Mike actually sounds quieter than he's been in the past, which is not a bad thing because he was too loud, and now he's perfect.
Right. I think it's fun, too. And I'm eager to go on.
I can cast first level spells, not third level spells.
Well, third level spells mean you have to be what?
5th, I believe.
5.
Wow.
Well,
Right. So they sent us with these things knowing full well we can't use them. All right.
they gave you more knowing that you might screw some of them up.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Go ahead and make the spellcasting challenge of DC 13, Marduk, with advantage.
So
Wait a minute.
Sure.
When you're doing the spellcasting, Marduk, talking out of character here,
Sure, go ahead.
are you rolling? What bonus are you adding to it? And is it just a better thing for Grodor to do because he's more likely to get to 13 because he's adding more?
I'm assuming that because it's a spell, I'm using my intelligence.
Yes. So what's your plus with intelligence?
Right now.
Oh, the Arcana skill?
Or I could use the Arcana skill, which I'm not currently trained in, but I get a +3 to it.
And what would your plus be out of character, Grodor, to cast a spell using your spell casting? Not cast a spell, but like using your spell casting trait, using your spell casting trait, I think it's just...
My spellcasting ability is charisma.
Charisma for you and intelligence for Marduk.
Right.
Which
So
is
Marduk
plus,
is +3,
and I'm +3 with my charisma, so it'd be the
so
same.
it's the same.
Okay.
And I'm going to give advantage as you help each other out. So we'll have Marduk to make things quick since that was who everyone wanted to send, who Riven had sent the original.
I think it's Mike's fault.
Yeah.
It's Mike's fault.
Yeah.
Mike did change the setting.
I will accept all blame.
And
Then
Is this a gnome?
Yes.
yeah,
It is your gnome voice, so I was just checking.
It's
Yeah.
also
it's very close to my halfling voice.
Yeah.
I've got
A
like, one
little
voice.
more reedy, but yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to go for a little more reedy, actually, is what I was going for. So yeah, I'm glad it actually worked. I wanted to be a little bit different from Merrick Plumbottom.
Yeah.
Bottom.
You sounded thinner.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, thinner.
Are you sure?
At the watering hole.
Because I have
Yeah.
it written down as Goldwasser, but maybe that was first draft.
Oh, sorry.
I'm pretty sure. I just looked at his picture today, and it had his name in his picture. The name of the photograph was his name, and it was
Goldwasser is a euphemism for
Plumbottom.
piss.
Yeah, I know. That's why I remembered it. I was
Maybe you
like,
read
I
it
think
up
you were
if
just calling him
annoyed by
names.
him.
There you
I
go.
might have done that.
He was annoying.
Okay. I don't think inspiration on anybody. I can splice it in, but I don't.
Yeah, I think it's I was thinking about that actually as I was saying the wrap up, and I think it was just a regular night tonight.
Okay.
Quick question: when you're rolling your hit points when you go up a level, do you add your Constitution modifier to that?
Yes, we do.
Because I did not.
Good. Bump it up a couple more points.
Yeah,
However much.
3.
Nice. That's a
Which is
really
better than
Good
nothing.
constitution.
Yeah,
hardy man for all his lack of strength.
Yes.
I'm healthy, but I just got no muscle mass.
Just weak looking.
Other possible titles that were available for this episode's voting on the Facebook fan page were I'm totally photobombing it. We are kind of poor. Last chance to flash cash like that. We're going to go full Telegram with this. The Cinderwald is a very dangerous place. And this is an unstable town.